Good job, Elizabeth. I think we're going to transition to Sid, the lead programmer and everything about the robot manager. Sid, walk us through it. How you doing? How you feeling?
Hi. Yeah, we're doing good. The robots, they're good. Last year we focused a lot on our computer vision and our embedded systems, and we had a huge team here working on just that. So our ground robots were a little understaffed, I'd say, and given our lack of experience last year, I'd say it was a little tough to compete with the big dogs.
Yep.
But now we've put a lot of effort into those ground robots. So the previous matches when Elizabeth was holding people off to 1v2, 1v3, it was great. We were really happy to see it. Unfortunately, our CV wasn't really working with our embedded at that time, but
it'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that.
Absolutely, unfortunately.
Especially trying to tune things live on the field becomes quite difficult, especially once we get to these matches where it really does matter.
For sure. We have like GoPros mounted to our Sentry just to see how far we're off so we can tune them. So you know.
And also for those 6 shots for the collaboration video that's going to come out after everything's
We'll be posting marketing materials and stuff for sure. Alan will be editing all of that, I'm sure.
The man behind the camera.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm really happy with the team. It's been great. It's been hard these 2 days because we've been looking forward to CV and Embedded working together for like a while, and we had high expectations after last year. But I think I think it's finally coming in. It's all coming together. We're feeling it. Our ground robots are good. Our Sentry is good. Yeah, really excited.
Nice. Well, looking forward to the competition, going against either the University of Illinois or the University of UW. Washington.
Yeah.
University of UW. University of Washington.
They're scary for sure. Illinois seems like a little bit of a wild card, I'd say.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, from what I've
working
seen,
their way up. Definitely not base killing every single person they have gone in contact with.
Yeah. It's scary. They have this new little tiny standard, and it seems really cool. It's got this like barrel flipping thing that I found out about recently. It seems sick, but yeah, we'll see how it performs. We'll see.
Like chat's calling you the Tony Stark, CV Guru, man of many titles, but apparently needing to pull his mic a little bit closer.
Okay. Don't worry, I will.
So I guess I'm going to ask the burning question that everybody's wondering, since you are the CV Guru, the man of many titles. How many hours of sleep have you gotten in the past 3 days? Or probably about 4, 5, 6, depending on how long you guys have been working overtime to get these robots up and running.
Yeah. If I had to put a number to that, it was about 4 hours the first day, and then I think 2 the second day, and then 2 today. Yeah.
So healthy amount.
Of course, peak
more than enough sleep.
Yeah.
Especially to be doing as big brain stuff as stuff that my brain can't even comprehend, which is coding this stuff. The code for these robots is so complicated. I'm sure you could say a bunch about that. But it looks like we're cleaning up the field. Going to be a little bit before the next match against University of Washington and Illinois. So I guess we got you for a bit more of a while. Any questions that chat wants to ask you? Looks like you're getting
Real
What's
Sense
Up King
or
from
Global Shutter with PNP. Real Sense. There you go. That's your answer.
What's your reasoning then? For those who might not be aware, explain a little bit more of the context of the camera decision.
So what they're asking here, I believe, is what camera we're using. And so we use an Intel RealSense D435R or 435i. Yeah, 435i. On our Sentry, it's mounted below our barrels. On standard, it's mounted above. But yeah, so last year we had the same camera running with YOLO V4, a neural net image recognition model, and it was good, but not at like long range. So this year we've upgraded YOLO V5, which is partially the reason why we've had so many problems. But yeah, so that is the little tiny CV explanation, I guess. I'm not the CV lead, unfortunately, so I can't tell you.
Looks
in detail,
like Putter wants to wish a happy birthday to one of their teammates.
Ooh,
I do not know which teammate it is, but it looks like we're going to put him on the big screen.
Yeah.
We got a very happy birthday to the man from Purdue.
Oh, they're singing too. That's so sweet.
The impressive showing from 3 first-year teams, a very well put together coalition. We'd love to watch them play, and it's not over for them yet. They are still in the competition. They will be playing whoever loses this upcoming match very shortly after the lunch break. The lunch break isn't yet. We're gonna get there, but we're not there yet. Yeah. Any burning questions for Sid? Which bot is the hardest to program? And actually, it looks like we have quite a few more questions.
Oh wow. Okay. What was the connection issue Hero was having? Great question. Actually, our gimbal's pitch motor had a CAN cable get, I think, shot out because the connector was completely shot. So Nathaniel held it in, and then I grabbed some tape and held it on and kind of strapped it together, and then we went at it with the hot glue gun at the end once it was heated up. And that held in for the rest of the match.
So that did seem to hold it together. The Hero did seem to actually have a pitch motor. That pitch motor going slack the first round, which is why that barrel was pointed straight down to the ground.
Yeah.
Because the gravity, those ref systems are actually pretty heavy, especially for that 42 millimeter. That's pretty big. You don't really realize how big they are. We might be able to get one from the commentator desk if we steal one from one of the robots that might have already been knocked out, but that's going to be a different tactic. Just getting like a ref system module for the 17 millimeter, like, or the 42. Like, if you want to just go see if CU wants to let us have one, that'd be cool.
What do we use to do image processing, and what is the lag? That is a great question. As I can't answer that question specifically, not because I don't want to, but because I didn't write it. So I will tell you something that our lovely advisor and teammate Jeff did recently. So we've been having problem with blue armor plates, specifically because we've been trying to separate them really tightly from the purple base plates that we're really trying hard not to shoot. Preston has called us out for that before. But where was I even going with that? Oh, yeah. So we weren't detecting blue armor plates very well. And so Jeff, in his infinite wisdom, decided to write a little shifting thing that took all the video feed and converts blue armor plates to red in the image processing stack.
Yeah.
So we then just tell our armor plates to aim at the red, and then our actually red armor plates look green. So that was the first time we tested that match, and it worked beautifully.
This is only on blue team, correct? Then?
Yes. So on red team, we run it normally, at least for now. I think Jeff has some big plans in store with hue shifting and training for that specifically in the future. But yeah, that was a great demo. And honestly, for coming up with that in such a short amount of time, Jeff did he did an amazing job.
And is that a switch you have to flip, or is that a code you have to push? How do you change that from team to team?
We have a little file on our Jetson co-computer that stores a bunch of constants about our program. So example, one of them is just what color we are. So for example, I think it's literally called we red or we blue. And we just set that before the match.
Gotta keep it simple.
We didn't really feel like, talking to the ref system, or like I think VT had some problems with that before, and like figuring out which armor plates were theirs. So we just have a file and a constant and a little variable that you change, and it's done. And it's locked in. And then we change that before every match.
All right, looks like the next common question is, which bot is the hardest to program? What do you think? Because I don't know anything about it. I just know I plug the wires in and then I hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends for sure. I'd say on the ground robots, the difficulty comes from tuning and making sure that the integration between your embedded systems and your driver comes really cohesively. You got to be able to switch from your regular like chassis control and like your aiming and your chassis following your gimbal direction directly into your what we call Tokyo Drift, which is what other teams call Beyblade or Spin to Win and stuff like that, where the chassis spins but the gimbal stays independent. That requires a lot of tuning to make sure it's smooth and optimized, and that it makes all the difference in engagements like these, where you're trying to evade two people at once, and you got to make sure you use all of your rotation, or as much as your rotational speed as much as possible.
And inertia too, so you're not wasting that power as you're trying to shift left and right, translate while spinning.
Yeah.
makes it a lot more difficult to be able to write that code for, I'm sure.
Yeah, so the ground robots actually have, well, all of our robots have dynamic power limiting. It takes in information from the ref system, make sure we aren't drawing too much, and try to keep us under the power limit. And that's worked really well for us so far. So we've been able to push the power limit, including the energy buffer, to the max. And that's why you might be able to see us spinning faster or moving faster than other teams, and it's because our drivers don't have to worry about pushing the power limit because it does it automatically.
Nice.
So that's something that's really important for the ground robots. The Sentry, not as much, but the CV embedded stuff is such a pain to figure out. You've got lag between between when your camera captures the picture to when it's processed to when it's sent over to your embedded systems type C board, hopefully. And then
that's all while it's trying to target these robots that are moving very quickly in front of it or spinning.
Yeah.
It makes it substantially harder to be able to get the accurate shot, especially whenever it's at those longer ranges. Just goes to show how much exactly goes into this. It's not just a simple cut and dry thing. And also, all of these systems must work well for the drivers to be able to execute team coordination that they want to try to get into the game.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not even the driver's fault if they can't shoot. Then it's like, well, crap, it looks like it's the driver's fault. It looks like the driver's not doing their job. But at the same time, it's like, well, it's a robotics competition and then also plays like an esport. But it's what we really want to see is that plays like an esport mentality where we can actually have all the functioning robots, have all the amazing code that somehow you can think of. I have no idea how he does it. I think we might have some more questions.
Oh yeah, I should have scrolled down. Do you guys
good.
use? Oh my God, there's so much.
Well, go ahead and scroll up, maybe.
Okay, let's scroll up. Is this Texas or Purdue member? Texas. Easy question.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you guys use ROS? No. We use a no.
For those of us who might not know what ROS is, what is it?
ROS stands for Robot Operating System. It's a framework that some university or some organization made, and it's used for. It's just a general purpose robotics programming platform that people use. It's pretty popular, I think, in China, but here we actually use an open source platform. Started and built by the University of Washington team, actually. It's called Taproot. If you aren't familiar, it's amazing. It helps us do a lot of things really easily. It kind of steps up the skill floor a lot. It's a lot easier to get from, to get all your basic things, your speed limiting, your power limiting, especially the ref system stuff. And also it built in a lot of really helpful functions and algorithms that you might have to spend a lot of time tuning and writing on your own. We actually used our own system last year, built from scratch, and then switched to it. After a year of investment and time, we decided it wasn't worth because Taproot is open source and it's maintained by a lot of really smart people. So yeah, there's your plug, University of Washington.
Well, it looks like that worked out pretty well. I mean, this year as A&M came out much stronger than last year, it's been obviously a welcome change.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, I think we started writing our code base from scratch in like August, competed in May, and in this year, we trained our members on the old code base until about January, and then we completely switched to Taproot, and basically all of the functionality that you see on the robots right now has been built between January and now. And a unfortunately surprisingly large proportion of it was done in the last like 3 weeks, but we won't talk about that. We'll pretend we did it very
Engineers
sustainably.
Procrastinate. That's just the thing that happens.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. What do you mean by Aggie? How dare you? Aggie is what we use to refer to students and alumni that attended Texas A&M. I think UCSD also calls their members Aggies, but or that's UC Davis actually. I think. But we're better
might be
anyway,
out here
so it
spreading
doesn't
the
matter.
false information. But we'll make sure that we can try to fact check that for you.
Do you guys use regular Kalman filter or extended Kalman filter? We've tried both. Currently, classified. Do you think A&M will be able to catch up to UWCV for next year's competition?
I think that's the burning question, right? I mean, that's one of the large differences that we've seen between UW and every other team in this competition has been the CV use on their infantry robots.
Yeah. So their computer vision is obviously amazing. They've been working on it for like several years. They've got like a ridiculous amount of images in their training data set. They've
What is the training data set?
Oh,
We'll try to
God.
break it down. a couple people in here that may or may not know exactly all the CV terms and terminology and things like that. So
yeah. Okay, so the training data set is, this data set is essentially, how do I say this? If you're trying to teach a child to recognize an object, right, you're going to show them multiple different views of the object. You're going to show them the object.
Cube,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So
Cube.
if I wanted to teach someone what a cube was, I would show them this, and I would show them like this, I would show them like this, and then I'd also show them, I'd show them this, because this is also a cube, and I'd show them from multiple different directions. And we do this because training a model to look at image algorithm, or to look at and classify images is really similar to teaching a baby. So we'll show them, in our case, thousands of images, and in UW's case, tens of thousands, and I think hundreds of thousands of images, which makes them super strong. They spend a ton of time collecting, and I think one thing in particular that makes them, completely separate from the rest is specifically their ballistics calculations. When you implement computer vision onto a robot like your Sentry or your Standard or whatever, you need to not only take that image, find out where the robot is, and then point your gun at it. You also need to calculate for bullet drop, like when your bullet fires, how much will it drop over time and distance.
Especially all the way across the
Yeah,
arena. We've
exactly.
seen Sentries in multiple days go all the way across the arena,
Right.
and that's a lot. Those 17mm projectiles come out of the barrel at I think for the Sentry it starts at 28.
It's 30. Technically 30 meters per second
Gotcha.
is the max. Yeah. So at that range, you'd think that at 30 meters per second there wouldn't be much, but it is a surprising amount. So we calculate for drag, gravity. We also calculate for, UW, calculates for the relative velocities of the robots. So if your robots are moving, you got to predict for that and aim where they're going to be. I've looked over their stuff, and it's ridiculous. I could copy paste it all I wanted, and you probably wouldn't be able to catch up in time. One thing that's also pretty innovative, I think, that they're doing is spin to win timing. So, in our case, Tokyo Drift timing. Essentially, when your chassis rotates and these plates come into view, University of Washington is actually able to time the shots, so they will.
So using this as the example, right? We can see the armor panels that would be the equivalent for this S1 engineer, and so as it is spinning,
so they will time their shots, and they will shoot only at your armor plates. They've got their robots so planned and like modeled, and they know exactly how long it takes for their robots to shoot a bullet and stuff like that, that they're able to do this. And so, regular Tokyo drifting spin to win isn't really viable against them anymore. You got to add some extra stuff in. You got to mix it up a little bit. I don't know. It's going to be hard to catch up to them. Here's a question. Did you fix the wire? Was it worn out or damaged in any way? Yes, it was damaged. We haven't fixed it. I'm sure they're working on that right now. From our experience, the difficulty in CV system is not in recognition, but for more motion predict related stuff. The model, I'd say, is actually... once you could have one person that knows how to model things really well, and you're set. They will do everything for you. It's fine. But the motion prediction, all of those calculations, that's very difficult. And we spent years, and UW spent more years working on it.
Looking down the pipe, it says, man, that's going to take some work because it's just such a complex system. Yeah,
for sure.
That's completely separate and on board the robot, but needs to interact with the systems, but is also kind of an entire separate system.
It is. The computer we use for computer vision is actually, it is, once again, completely separate. For us, it's literally a computer strapped to the side of our Sentry, and it moves with the gimbal there. And so it's connected to the Jetson via a USB cable. And then that Jetson communicates to our little dev board over this tiny little serial wire. So it's a very delicate and balanced system. And unfortunately, as we found out in the last 2 days, it's not always that straightforward to implement, even if you've had it in previous years working.
Yeah.
I'm a CS student. UW is the best. This is Richard. Richard, you're off the team. I'm kicking you out. You're no longer allowed to work for us. Yes, we do. Okay, so someone asked, Does your team or any other team have merch? And the
Actually have a flyer for that merch.
Perfect.
And that is going to be sold at the merch table in the MSC.
Yes.
And this is for specifically the Lone Star competition. However, the team side of things I'm unaware of, so you might be more in the know than I am.
Yeah, so I'm not actually sure if we're selling our team shirts or not. Alan, maybe?
Okay,
Yes.
so they're available to buy on the website, but they're not shipped on the website. You have to pick them up at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I'm sure other schools also have websites of their own and merch stores of their own that you would probably be able to get stuff from. For some of these first-year teams, that might just be something that they're going to look at more as they're able to progress, get more funding, get more money, get more attention, which is exactly what we want, because we want these teams to grow, we want them to prosper, and we want them to come back next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that all the comments? You got
there's
more,
definitely more.
I was gonna
Oh
say.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Tips for getting sponsored.
I would be able to help you if we had them. We have sponsors, I'm pretty sure, but if you would like to sponsor us, do it. That I don't know what else to say. Do it. It's great. We're a great organization.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Yeah. Tips for getting sponsor. Reach out to people. Just talk to people. We have some sponsors that help sponsor this competition. Actually, ABB is what comes to mind. And yeah, honestly, just reach out. Go to robotics competitions and events and engineering outreach programs, and schools especially love to have you come over and show off their robots. We've done that a ton of times, and yeah, people, you know, when kids and teens and high schoolers see robots that are working like this, and it's, you know, how it's basically a video game, they relate a lot, and so it's definitely very it's beneficial for sponsor relationships to have such a wide market like that. So expanding your market, try to get your name out there, and yeah, I think the sponsors come on their own.
I think we're going to just try to rapid fire a few more questions, or just leave it up there, but you might just be staying to guest commentate in this next match if you're down for that.
Is AI used on some Roadmaster robots for controlling the bot using aim assist, or even training on a real model and then using a Roadmaster unit to assist your team when someone is absent, or is all of what I said not allowed?
I think that's the actual goal, is to be able to have that aim assist to be able to lock onto those armor panels and shoot, right?
Yeah. There's actually the AI challenge, so Roadmaster definitely encourages that.
Looks like we're going to be hopping over to the match here. No time for questions as we got 5 seconds left on the clock. Everybody is out of the arena. It is only the robots that are competing, and it looks like we are going to start this match very soon.